here. Well, Marshall got him mid-game, but the two big guns both in the same problem right now.
Lovie Smith's defense. There was Sapp after he came off the field. Trying to work it out. 3rd down and 9 upcoming for the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers have got to be thinking field goal here.
Wonder if Sapp pulled us back, lifting Falk.
Keyshawn Johnson lines up in the slot to the left. Brad Johnson comes back to Dunn, sets up the screen. Good blocking, pays the price as he gets to the 11-yard line. He's short of the first down by 2, and that will set up a Gramatica field goal attempt of about 29 yards.
And that's just about the distance that he missed in the first quarter, wasn't it, Al?
They're actually going to give him a much better spot than I thought, Dan. They're going to be closer to the first down than I thought. They're going to bring the sticks out. I thought he was stopped on the other side of the 10.
Well, Warwick Dunn has really carried this Buccaneer offense here in the second half.
Look at this. Well, he's got it. No. What are they going to say? No?
Well, it's not the strap there that counts. It's the actual metal part of the post right there. So this is a half an inch away.
Not even a link. Look at that.
All right, they need an angstrom.
It's a heck of an effort by Warwick Dunn. It's almost as if he saw where that yellow line was.
They're going to line up to go for it. I thought he gave him a very favorable spot, and Johnson, who needs an inch, has it.
That's when you go for that quarterback sneak. 6'5", 225 pounds. Again, perfect on the sneak.
You know, you take a look at that other play, and again, we go back to they don't have a challenge. Otherwise, you could have challenged the spot on the earlier play.
Well, he challenged the spot earlier in the game. Used both challenges in the first half.
Because I thought Dunn was stopped well shy of where they put the ball down. In the meantime, on 4th and a link, they go for it. It's 1st and goal now at the 8-yard line. Johnson throwing for Johnson, and it's knocked away by Aeneas Williams.
Just a little flat on that pass. Hey, Dano, should have put a little more air under it, maybe?
Well, you'd like to think that Keyshawn could out-jump Aeneas Williams at 6'4" and 5'11", but Aeneas, I mean, he ran that pattern perfectly with Keyshawn. It's that wheel route. Keyshawn showing his desperation with this attempt to catch it off the rebound, keeping his eye on the ball and just can't not get it.
That makes it 2nd down and goal. Allstock the tailback. Johnson falls down. May have tripped on the center's foot. Or the guard, Cozy Coleman, who was pulling as a flag down.
I think Jeff
start.
Christie stepped back on his foot, Al.
And the play was actually, in effect, whistled dead before the snap because of a false start.
Illegal formation. Number 71 was on the end of the line. Tampa Bay. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Jerry Wunsch.
Yeah, the Buccaneers had 2 tight ends over to the left side of the offensive line and a wide receiver outflanking there. No wide receiver on Wunsch's side on the line of scrimmage.
So now it's 3rd down and goal. Johnson comes up in the shotgun. They'll spot the ball at the 14-yard line.
Look for Warwick Dunn right here. He's been the man.
They send him out into the pattern after a chip block. The pass is underthrown. Intercepted by the tackle, Brian Young, playing pass defense. A flag is down at the 22-yard line in the vicinity of Brad Johnson, who went down.
Well, Brian Young was in press coverage.
This is a classic example of a zone blitz as Young drops out and gets his first career interception.
The flag is after the change of possession, so it will not negate the interception.
And Brad doesn't throw many interceptions. That's just 7 all year. Totally confused by Young dropping out.
He doesn't throw many interceptions to begin with, much less to defensive linemen.
Holding number 67 offense. Our penalties decline. Personal foul.
Plum looks like he's been through the war.
On number 72, St. Louis. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down, St. Louis.
That was a Hanatu for the personal foul after the play. But the interception by Young counts. And wasn't that a pretty fascinating series of events? Dungy gives up the opportunity for the field goal to get the touchdown. The next thing you know, the Rams are still down by 7, and they get the ball.
And really all the Buccaneers need there is a field goal to get a 10-point lead. The way their defense is frustrating the Rams offense, that might have been good enough to win the ball game.
I agree. But they were so close. I mean, it was so tempting. 4th down and an inch. And there's Warren Sapp.
Warren's got to grab his helmet, go to work.
Go to work with his team still up by only 7.
And how big was that penalty on Chidi Ahanatu that negates the run back of Brian Young?
Right, 15 yards. Instead of the 36, they take it at the 21-yard line. So now they need 79 yards instead of 64.
No problem.
Not with these guys. They're going for it all right here, and the pass is hauled in by Torrey Holt at the Tampa Bay 43. So they get about half of what they need on one play.
Well, you get the feeling they believe they can hit the switch whenever they want to.
That's because they have so much speed. Holt is no longer running this route on the corner. He's running it on the safety, Jackson. The fake to the inside, that got Jackson to turn around. And the strong gun of Warner puts the ball right on the money. That's when you got great speed, when you can get on the safety and make moves on the safety 25 yards down the field.
First down at the 42 after a 36-yard pickup. Now Warner under pressure. He gets banged down by Barber as he gets the pass away. Incomplete, intended for As-Hakim.
You know, it's like a title fight. You know, you get the big bomb there by the Rams. The next play, Dungy's defense comes back with a good pressure on Warner, forcing a bad throw.
And Dungy ahead on points, went for the knockout blow instead of the field goal.
There you go. No sucker punch there.
Second down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Warner throws underneath, hauled in at the 39-yard line by Marshall Faulk, was tackled by Derek Brooks at the 37. Quickly to Melissa.
Al, back spasms must be contagious tonight. Marshall Faulk had them earlier, and Warren Sapp just had them. You saw him on the ground writhing in pain. The trainers massaged his back. They popped it. He stretched it, and he said there was no way he wasn't coming back in.
See how simpatico Missy and I are? Huh? Just like Oliver and Lisa Douglas.
Well, Tom Newton, who was hurt earlier and then got into the game, banged up again, and he looks like he is finished for the night, and that will move Frank Garcia back into his spot.
And Garcia's had problems in that spot. Newton had the good block on the two-point conversion by Faulk. We'll see what Garcia can do now.
Well, you got to believe when you're watching the St. Louis Rams, huh? I was watching Heaven Can Wait last night. Warren Beatty played quarterback Job Pendleton, sent from up above, and sometimes you look at Warner and it just seems when the tableau is right, he can step in and do the miraculous.
Third down and 4 at the 36-yard line. Warner, and a real quick slant to Hakeem, but he throws it behind him.
Wow, a rather earthbound throw there, though.
Well, when you read the blitz is coming. They've got more men coming than you have blocking them. So you have to throw hot. It looked like Kurt got his feet tangled up a little bit, and that's why this ball went behind Hakeem.
And now the Rams are going to go for it on 4th down and 4 at the 36.
Question for Tampa, did they bring more pressure or did they play back?
Bucs line up with 5 guys along the line. They blitz. Warner throws, and it's intercepted by Donnie Abraham at the 34-yard line. Intended for Torrey Holt. Abraham reads it beautifully, even though Tampa blitzes, man-to-man coverage. He reads it perfectly, gets the pick.
That's preparation. You know what the team's adjustments are, then you use your athletic ability to make the play.
Bucs ball.
Bill Boss, Brian Song, Sunday 7/6 Central on ABC.
Bucs on top 24-17, and they have the ball. Reminder, Sunday television event that's been building since the premiere. It's Alias. ABC this Sunday, 9 Eastern Pacific and 8 Central time. Now Tampa, and we begin with a whistle on 1st down.
Grant Wistrom got his money's worth if it's on him.
Yeah.
He just drilled Davey Moore.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense came into the neutral zone, causing the offensive man to jump 5 yards. Repeat 1st down.
Let's go back to the interception. The Buccaneers are going to bring a weak side blitz. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more than the Rams can handle, so Warner has to throw the blitz adjustment. Barber comes on the blitz. Steve White and Donnie Abraham, the veteran that he is, picks off his 28th pass of his career.
1st and 5 after the whistle at the 39-yard line. All stop. They string him out and knock him down for a loss back to the 31-yard line. And the Rams are going to take a timeout. That is their second. Bay leading 24-17 with 3:40 left after a Ram timeout. Saturday, Miami, Virginia Tech early. Oregon State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Purdue in the middle of the afternoon. Texas, Colorado, primetime here on ABC. 2nd down and 7, and Johnson again falls down, but this time gets up and then gets sacked back at the 32-yard line. Second time Brad has been tripped in this quarter, backpedaling. Sean Moran gets a gift sack.
And the Rams use their final timeout. And I like that use of timeouts, especially after the Cozy Coleman will step back and step on the top of Brad Johnson's foot right there. See that right foot of Brad? He goes down again. Yeah, the Buccaneers had a free 5 yards off the Grant Wistrom offsides penalty. Then Allstott loses a couple of yards, and now they're stumbling and fumbling around here. They're not taking advantage of this opportunity to close this one out.
Rams taking their timeouts, taking 2 of them here, and plus 1 that they took earlier on the 2-point conversion. No team that has lost to the Buccaneers has ever won the Super Bowl that season, so the Rams could be looking that oddity in the face tonight.
Wow, that's a surrealistic little nugget there.
It is. 3rd down and 11 at the 33-yard line as Johnson retreats in the shotgun, throws underneath the Allstott, but right there to grab him around the ankles and knock him down at the 32 is Brian Young.
Again, dropping out from the defensive line, playing pass defense, picking up the interception last possession, this time stuffing Allstott after the catch.
Brian Young.
Yeah.
He's listed as a tackle. He may make the Pro Bowl as a cornerback.
I tell you what. Look at him in space, closing, finishing.
They got him back returning the punt.
Mark Royals to kick. Oz Hakeem, who's fumble prone, as we all know, back to receive the kick. They use all of the play clock, and Royals really booms this one, a beauty, to the 16-yard line. Hakeem has space down the sideline, cuts it back, spin move all the way to the 45-yard line. Hakeem. The downside is he fumbles. The upside is he gives you run backs like that. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Nissan. Driven. Dell Enterprise systems that are easy to build, easy to own, easy as Dell. And Burger King, home of the Whopper.
Clearly a case of Mark Royals out kicking his coverage. Team ran it down and then brought it back.
So now Warner goes to work. No timeouts. They can stop the clock. The clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. Royals with a 51-yard punt, 28-yard return. Kirk retrieves on first down, slings it over the middle of the traffic, and it's picked off by John Lynch. And Lynch returns the ball to the 50-yard line. May have been tipped. It winds up in the hands of Lynch.
It was tipped, Al, by the other big play defender for the Buccaneers, Derek Brooks. So Sapp has made plays. Derek Brooks comes up with this one, and John Lynch finishes off with the interception. Watch Brooks go high and just get 2 fingers on that ball.
It's like Marshall said, a leader at every level of the defense, and they're all coming in here. All checking in at crunch time.
So now the Bucs have it, and the Rams don't have a timeout, but Tampa Bay cannot run the clock all the way out because it will stop at the 2-minute warning.
I think they might have learned that lesson by way of what the Bears did last week in Tampa.
You bet.
Sapp was out of his mind tonight. Got that montage.
So ball security is the key right here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On a conservative play, they give it to Allstott. Mike stays in bounds. It looked like he was he may have gone out of bounds, which would have been a major favor to the Rams. Well, but he's tackled inbounds, picks up about 9 yards, and now the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning.
He's one of the few guys who leaves a dent on the field after he's tackled.
2-minute warning after the 9-yard pickup by Allstott. And in a game they have to win, the Bucs are 120 seconds away from doing just that. Tampa Bay leading by a score of 24-17. And a reminder, Sunday on the Wonderful World of Disney, the Gale Sayers Brian Piccolo story reprised. Brian's song this Sunday night here on ABC.
You know, even with computer-generated images, they can't recreate Sayers' moves.
No.
They were extremely lateral.
Well, Kurt Warner in his first 14 home games, as you can see, had almost a 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. In the last 3+, 3 TDs, 10 picks. Tonight, the Rams have turned the ball over 5 times. They've had a punt blocked. And also, they had what I thought was a turnover that was challenged, and the Rams won that one. That could have been another turnover. They had 8 turnovers against the Saints in their only other loss this season.
They were outplayed tonight, Al.
Yes, they were. No question. No question.
The Buccaneers have an 8-minute time of possession advantage. They kept the offense off the field. They made the Rams drive the length of the field, and they were opportunistic. They could get their hands on the ball.
Well, this is a first down. In effect, it would end the game, and it is. It is a first down. Don't even have to measure. And that's going to do it. Clyde Christensen, the offensive coordinator, Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, and Tony Dungy and his staff and gang have come in here. They had to win. They do win. And as we said at the top of the game, if they come out of here somehow with a win, and they were about a 10-point dog tonight, they'd be 5-5 and looking to 2 games in the next 2 weeks against Cincinnati and Detroit. So all of a sudden you go from 4-5 to maybe 7-5. First time in Warner's 2.5-year career he's been under 50%.
Well,
as a starter.
There's the brutal truth of the NFL. Now you got to watch out for the Malays against Cincy and Detroit. You win the big one, you got to get your game face right back on.
Little kneel down, that'll do it. The Rams are now tied for first place in the NFC West with San Francisco, even though if the season ended today, the Rams would be the champs by virtu of having beaten them. The two will meet here on December 9th. The Rams now go to Atlanta next week in what becomes a very important game. The suddenly resurgent Falcons are 6-4. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are right back in the middle of the playoff picture as they get ready to take on Cincinnati.
And you would think that Tony Dungy's game plan defensively will be copied by every opponent the Rams face the rest of the year.
You guys are getting back hot again.
So the Rams go to 8-2. Bucs go to 5-5. Wrap it up. Play of the game when we come back. Buccaneers upset the Rams tonight, 24-17. Let's go to the field, Melissa Starr.
All right, Al, 3 sacks by the Buccaneers tonight, 2 by this guy right here, Warren Sapp. How were you able to shut down this high-powered Rams offense?
Well, it was just a matter of keeping the ball in front of us, and they got a few big plays, and they made a couple plays here and there, but we were just going to keep rallying and keep lining up and keep hitting them and punishing them and making them work for every yard they got.
An absolutely critical game. Can you put in perspective what this win means for the team?
Well, right now, we ain't even thinking about what it means to this ball club. We're going to get on the plane, we're going to enjoy this for 24 hours, and we're going to prepare the next Wednesday to go to Cincinnati and get us another win, because the only way you start a streak is with one, and we got one right now.
Warren, thanks. Let's go over to Eric.
Thanks. I'm here with Warwick Dunn. Warwick, running, receiving. Why do you always play so well against the Rams?
Well, it's a challenge. Those guys have a high-powered offense, and what you hear about the Bucs is that we can't score, we can't move the football. It's a night we executed, we made plays, and our defense played well.
Why do you guys always play so tough against each other, both of these teams?
Well, we have to play physical. You have to play this team physical, try to take them out of their game. We put a lot of pressure on the quarterback tonight. He made some throws, and our offense, the offensive line blocked tonight. Those guys down the line of scrimmage was able to have some runs.
Thanks, Warwick.
Appreciate it, man.
Al?
All right, thank you, Eric. Now it's time for the key of play of the game. Speaking of Warwick Dunn, the play of the game is his touchdown. 17-17 was the score. Warwick Dunn culminating a 90-yard drive on a play on which had the Rams had a challenge, they might have said he was out of bounds at the 5, but too little too late. Turns out to be a done deal. 24-17 Tampa Bay. Al Michaels for our whole crew saying goodnight from St. Louis with a reminder that next week we'll be in Jacksonville. It's Green Bay taking on the Jaguars. Stay tuned for your late local news. We're on the West Coast. Who wants to be a millionaire? ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword Monday Night Football. And this has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence.
Their last 2 meetings, and to keep